Warriors, welcome to this video, my friends. Today I'm tackling a very common habit among health anxiety sufferers. What is that habit? That habit is Googling your symptoms. I've done a lot of podcasts, I've done a lot of videos. On the End the Anxiety program, we touch on this, but I've never been targeted like I am going to be today as far as Googling your symptoms goes. Now, in my 6-year anxiety disorder life, which seems like a whole lifetime ago, every single time a sensation arose in my system, I began to get so curious as to what it was. What could it be? You know what? It didn't even have to be a different sensation or a different symptom. It could just be the same one that popped up at, say, noon throughout the day. It wasn't there all morning, and all of a sudden it just popped up, and all of a sudden, because I was so fearful and so sensitized to each and every one of these symptoms, these sensations, I began to look for an answer. The answer was in the form of the search engine. So there I was searching. What could the lump in the throat mean? What could the headache mean? What could the body zaps mean? What could all this mean? And you know what? Symptoms, they go on and on and on. Everybody experiences different kinds of symptoms. Some of them are lingering and some of them come out of the blue, really hard, like a heart palpitation. And you know what? Quickest way to find answers is what? Google. So that's what I did, and that's what a lot of people do. Now, when I began to Google a symptom, a sensation, what started to happen was I planted a seed within my unconscious mind. I planted that seed. And everything that Google brings out as far as the sensation goes makes you think that you're in a life-threatening situation. It magnetizes you towards the doctor's office or the emergency room or something that's catastrophic, like a physical ailment, a disease, because you won't find the word anxiety when you begin searching, say, a lump in the throat. It's not going to happen. When you begin searching a heart palpitation, you're not going to find anxiety show up on the first couple pages. At least I didn't. What you are going to find is heart disease. You're going to find tumors. You're going to find all these sorts of physical ailments, which are, which aren't really what you're going through because you've been tested a number of times. You've been through this stuff. So this is important to understand, that when you Google something, you're not going to find the true answer most of the time. You're going to find the worst possible scenario, okay? And by planting that seed in your mind that there may be something wrong with you, every thought you have throughout the day is directed towards that what if. All the words that you express to other people are, again, words in the form of confusion, bewilderment, curiosity. You're sensitized now because you planted the seed. And your actions will also follow this seed, and you're going to be watering that seed each and every day, making that curiosity grow stronger and stronger and stronger. That's why it's important, starting today, to begin to reverse this trend, my friends. And I'm going to show you how. Now, there's a couple things that are important here. I realized that this habit was based around a few principles. Okay, I want you guys to understand these principles, these components to why you're doing this. Number one was the limited and painful view I had of myself. I'm going deep here. I'm not talking about the symptom. I'm talking about you as a person. The view I had of myself was someone who was fragile, someone who didn't have what it took. And that kind of belief in myself made me feel very non-resistant to anything that came into my life. For example, a practical problem in the outside world. If something happened, I believed that I wasn't capable of taking care of it. And that also meant sensations. That also meant anything going through my body. That also meant my thoughts. The way I saw myself when I woke up in the morning was very fragile. Very low vibration, let's call it. Okay? This is important because when you begin to see yourself as someone who's Superman or Superwoman or someone who can and someone who has the ability and someone who has the internal resources, guess what? When you begin to see yourself in that way, Is there any real problem internally or externally that you cannot take care of? No, there is nothing that can stop you. And that's truly where I am in my life now, and that's where you're going. That's number one, is the way we see ourselves. Number two is that we have no trust in our body's ability. None. We have no trust in our body's ability. How do we form trust? We form trust through evidence. We form trust through practice. Trust starts to arise when we begin speaking towards people in a way where they go, wow, look at you go, my friend. And I go, yeah, better believe it. And trust is built through things such as physical exercise. Trust in your body is built through diet. Trust in your body is built through sleep. These are the fundamentals. When you begin to partake in these types of principles, these types of exercises, you're going to find that you build more trust in your body to be able to handle any virus, sensation, ailment, thought, no matter what it is. You build that trust within you. That's what we need. Number three is my beliefs around the feeling. As soon as a sensation arose, what was on the first 3 pages of Google directly gets embedded into my thought patterns, into my belief systems. This is important because we must begin attaching a different pairing, a different association when these sensations arise. Because trust me, there is always a reason for these sensations. You may be going through your day, going for a walk, and all of a sudden, all the way about 10 blocks down, you hear the noise of the ambulance. The ambulance is going off. And you just vaguely kind of hear it consciously, but your unconscious mind is going, what was that? And all of a sudden it creates a pairing between that noise and when you were in the ambulance a couple of weeks ago and how frightening it was. And all of a sudden the same feelings that arose when you were in the ambulance begin to show up when you're just walking down the street and you're going, consciously you're going, what the heck? Where did this come from? I was having such a nice day. So just because something is not in your conscious awareness does not mean it's not affecting you. That's important. We need to understand that you've got a subconscious mind that keeps all the records of what happened from the past. And if there's anything in the outside world or any time during the day that makes your unconscious mind believe that it's time for adrenaline, it's time for this flush of sensations to get your conscious mind's attention to run or fight from something, it's going to give you those. It's going to provide those things. Why? Because this is how your body works. This is how your system works. So when you begin to think about anxiety, you have to think about it like, my system is actually doing what it's supposed to do, but it's on overdrive. And we want to take care of that overdrive. Okay, this is really important. Now, what do a lot of people do when it comes to Googling symptoms? They try to stop doing it. You'll ask a friend, I just can't stop Googling my symptoms. Well, stop Googling your symptoms, for God's sakes. It's very, very difficult to stop something. It's much easier to substitute something for something else. For example, what does Googling your symptoms give you? It gives you a sense of reassurance, gives you a sense of safetiness. These are things that you can have when you partake in a different behavior, but it's more productive. This is important because we have to substitute one thing for another. This is important. Now, I'm going to give you a technique right now, okay? And I want you guys to practice this technique, okay, on a daily basis. And what we're going to be doing to take the belief, the internal belief within you that says, hey, guess what? This sensation might just be a sensation. It's in your head. It's in the back of your head that goes, you know what? Maybe this is safe. Maybe it is a part of my fight or flight response. But the majority of you doesn't believe that that's the case. So how can we make this thought that it could be a sensation stronger in your gut and stronger in your nervous system? What we want to do is we want to practice the amateur attorney technique. The amateur attorney technique is this. In 1 week's time, you have a court date. By the way, you're an attorney. You have a court date, okay? And in that 1 week's time, you have to gather all the evidence in the world that supports the belief that you have, that tiny little belief in the back of your head that says, yes, this sensation is due to anxiety. Not anything physical, nothing wrong with me, nothing like that. It's due to anxiety. So therefore, I have to take care of the anxiety part. So you want to gather all the evidence that you can on a piece of paper throughout the entire week to begin gaining this momentum towards the real truth behind your sensations. And that is that it is directly related to a system that is on overdrive. So starting today, and you know what? This is an important case. You got a client, he's got to win. Take it seriously. And whether that's a blog post, write down what you learned from that blog post as far as sensations of anxiety and how it has nothing to do with a physical ailment. Blog posts, videos, programs, people's success stories, no matter what it is, your own success stories and how you're here right now. Would you actually be able to do the things that you do on a daily basis if what you had was related to something physical, a physical ailment, a disease? Most likely not. You wouldn't be able to do the things that you do on a daily basis. So, starting today, gather all the evidence in the world that supports the idea that these sensations, whether they are lingering or they come out of the blue, are related to anxiety. Start today in your workbook or in your journal. One thing after another thing, after another thing, after another thing. And then you're going to get to a place where you firmly don't only believe it in your head, but you believe it in your gut. You believe it in your nervous system. Then when the week has passed and you've got all this evidence piled up, what are you going to do then? Now it's going to be like this fly buzzing around your face. Like, bzzz, could this be a physical ailment? Bzzz, and you're going to go, swat that fly. Because now it's turned from a possible thought thing to a gut thing. In your gut, you know the truth. When this happens, everything changes for a health anxiety sufferer. Okay? So I urge you guys to begin this process today, to begin seeing your symptoms from a deeper perspective, from another perspective, and to begin building evidence on what's true, that these sensations are directly related to anxiety and a system that is working on overdrive, mainly called EAA, excessive amygdala activation. That's what you're going through because you've been tested, you've been there, you did the work, and now we've got to bring it from a head level to a gut level, my friends. I love you so much. Comment below, guys. Let me know if you're going through Googling your symptoms. And you know what? Let's turn this around through evidence. Lots and lots of emotional evidence. Comment below. Like this video. Share it with someone that you know. And let's overcome health anxiety once and for all. Why? Because you are more than anxiety. Love you guys.